Good evening. I've a very sick Llaqui detritus for, well, not that sick, I've just been working for, I've taught 8 lessons today, and I'm doing another 7 tomorrow, so I can't be that sick. Very sick me for my new vlog, because I haven't done one in about a month. Haven't even done anything about going to Ha Long Bay, which is kind of the biggest tourist attraction in Vietnam, which I did about a month ago now. So that's mad. But yeah, so this one I'm just going to talk about Cuc Phuong National Park. Just quickly go check out my website, jacknutchins.wordpress.com. You can read my stories. Well, there are links to them there. There's this YouTube channel, there's other blogs about various interesting stuff. Okay, so yeah, basically Cuc Phuong it was a place that I wanted to visit since as soon as I started checking out places to go in Vietnam. Forests are nominally full of langurs, gibbons, clouded leopards, civets, binturongs, pangolins, bracket-tailed drongos, tragopans, hornbills, other exotic sounding faunae, which is very much my thing. So I went down on my own, which is I was really apprehensive about. Most people I know were at a Quest festival last weekend, so I got the bus down on my own to Nho Quan for less than the price of a taxi into the centre of Hanoi. Yeah, I should just recap. I'm based in Hanoi teaching English. Yeah, so got the bus down there, very near Ninh Binh. I actually reckon that we actually stopped at the same service station that I went to on the way to Ninh Binh. So yeah, it was funny that even though I know Vietnam very little and have barely left the capital, I was already sort of recognising places like that. But I mean, I guess you could have the same experience anyway. Yeah, so once I got to Nho Quan, I got a motorbike taxi to the national park gate. They told me that if I wanted to do their night walk, which is what I really wanted to do, so basically a guide will take you into the forest to look for wildlife, because it's easier to find them at night. If I wanted to do that, I had to be at the park centre in the evening, and since I didn't really have any way of getting from the park gate to the park centre and back, it's 20 kilometres, which I thought was too far for me to cycle in the heat, and I don't have a motorbike. I decided that the best thing to do would be to stay in the park centre. So I got someone to take me up there, checked into this, it's kind of this house that was like, not built on stilts, but rather pillars, with up a big flight of stone stairs in this kind of little cabiny room that's very pretty, with a sort of twin beds and like a mosquito net over it. No light bulb in my room, but according to the site, there's no electricity. But then the Vietnamese couple in the room next to me actually did manage to turn on the light in their room after like 10 minutes of trying to. So apparently there is. Yeah, it's Cuc Phuong it's not the most isolated place, and it's quite a small national park, but it is. Once you get in there, facilities are really basic. The food in the restaurant was crap. Don't feel bad saying that. And there was no phone signal, no 3G, which was kind of what I wanted. Well, yes and no, as we're going to get to. So once I had a bit of lunch, I set off on one of the trails. I went to see the 1,000-year-old tree, which was like, it was okay. It was a big tree, and I went to see the Paradise, not Paradise Cave. That's in Phong Nha Cave. It's called Palace Cave, I think. I didn't really go very far into that one because I was on my own. Didn't want to leave the site of the entrance. All seemed a bit scary. But what I saw, not up to scratch by the high standards of Vietnamese caves, I would say. You know, I've got pretty high expectations now, and this didn't really meet them. Yeah, so a very, very average cave. But I did meet some people in the forest who said, "Oh, yeah, we heard you talking about the night walk. Are you going to do that?" I said, "Because you've got to arrange it by 4 o'clock." And I said, "Well, I've got no way of getting back down there to arranging it, and I can't call them." And so someone ended up kind of going. Well, they were staying at the park gate anyway, so not exactly motorbiking down on my behalf, but like incidentally taking a message for me. And then she didn't come herself, which was a bit odd. I kind of thought she was going to join. Anyway, yeah, whatever. Like, I feel like if I do a sort of 30-day travel vlog around Southeast Asia, it's going to be a lot of stuff with me. Like, yeah. Anyway, yeah. So just describe the scenery. Like, basically, what was exciting about it was like almost the light wasn't coming through quickly because the trees are so close together. I could hear constant noises that were either birds or monkeys, and just sort of whoo, whoo, noises that were just generally very exciting to hear, because in Hanoi, if you see an animal, it's a rat or a sparrow. I come from just outside the Peak District. In Sheffield, we have a lot of woods and parks, and I don't realise how polluted Hanoi is until I get into the countryside. And like, whilst Cuc Phuong was weird, it wasn't like stunningly beautiful like Ninh Bình. It reminded me of like collections where rich people have planted a load of tropical plants sort of in the British countryside, and the sort of place that I got taken to on holiday as a kid, and weirdly like reminded me quite a lot of Worlow Park in Sheffield, just because like the plants were kind of exotic looking, because they were just absolutely huge. They had leaves sort of the size of a person, and like there's no refleges. Most of it was all very green. Not very much was sort of brightly coloured. And like from that, if you'd shown me pictures, I would have. It could have been anywhere in the world. Anyway, lots of atmospheric noises. It got a little bit spooky in the forest, even in the daytime. And eventually, I got back to my accommodation. Had a chat with some Vietnamese people, which was a very limited chat, because of language barriers. I should clarify, I guess, because it could sound quite rude about them otherwise. Went to have dinner about 5, and then I thought that this guide was going to turn up either at 6:30, 7:30, or not at all. So about 6:15, I kind of walked back to the restaurant to go and wait for him, which I assumed was the pickup point. Again, you see the organisational difficulties in this, but this is why I'm proud of myself for going. And the night is so loud there. You've got these cicadas and stuff around you going constantly, and then things rustling at foot height. And I think of myself as someone who wants to see wildlife all the time, but I realised at that moment I was really scared, and I didn't want to see wild animals. And when I saw like some eyes glowing back at me, it was really, really scary. And it was an owl, and I was quite excited because I like owls. Who wouldn't be happy to see an owl? I'm going to have to do this as a 2-parter, I think. Either that or I'll start fresh, because I am quite pleased with the way this is going. So that's Cuc Phuong Part 1. Watch Part 2 which will be right next to it on YouTube. Okay, thank you. Goodbye.